On July 11th, 1804, Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr would level pistols at each other. The shots that ensued would largely affect American government for the next 200 years. I was largely inspired to give this speech because of two people, one being Ron Chernow, the author of the authoritative biography on Alexander Hamilton's life, and the other being Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote the musical based on that same book. When examining the life of Hamilton, there are four key phases that we must pay attention to. The first being his early life and childhood in St. Croix, the next being his Revolutionary Era war service, the third being his appointment to Treasury Secretary of the United States, and the fourth being his infamous duel with Aaron Burr. Hamilton was born on January 11th, 1775, in Charlestown, St. Kitts and Nevis. He was born the son, illegitimately, of James Hamilton and Rachel Fawcett Lavian. Naturally smart, Hamilton began clerking at a local trading firm at age 11. Soon after, he moved to the American colonies to pursue his education. There, he enrolled in King's College studying law, however, did not formally graduate. Hamilton craved fame, importance, and power. The outbreak of the Revolutionary War would soon offer him the chance to obtain just that. Hamilton joined the Continental Army in 1776 as an artillery captain, and later, a year, was promoted to lieutenant colonel in 1777 and joined George Washington's private staff as secretary. His duties included personal note-taking for the general, as well as correspondence with states, the legislature, as well as important private financiers. Despite the immense demands of this duty, Hamilton still found time to reflect and develop his opinions on foreign policy and taxes. Hamilton married Elizabeth Schuyler in 1781 and was rewarded with the command of a battalion during the Battle of Yorktown. He fought bravely alongside the Marquis de Lafayette and was jointly awarded the title of hero. After the war, Hamilton passed the bar and opened a legal study. However, he was not to remain there long. Hamilton joined the Continental Congress as a New York junior delegate between 1782 and 1783. A couple of years later, in 1787, Hamilton began the construction and completion of the Federalist Papers, arguably his largest and most popular work. The Federalist Papers were a series of essays written in support of the United States Constitution. The original plan for the papers was to write a series of 25 essays defending the Constitution to the public. In the end, they wrote 85 essays, the work split evenly among three men, John Jay, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton. John Jay wrote 5, but then got sick. Madison wrote 29. Hamilton wrote the other 61 essays. It is for this Herculean effort that Hamilton and New York ratified the Constitution. A couple of years later, Washington appointed Hamilton to the Treasury Secretary of the United States. Although not Washington's first choice, Hamilton was happy to oblige. Immediately after his appointment, he was tasked by Congress with a report on the credit of America. The paper that followed, Report on Public Credit, as well as two more papers, Report on Manufactures and a Report on a National Bank, largely outlined Hamilton's plan to rebuild American credit and to establish taxes. However, these papers would also reveal the deep political divisions that severed Congress. His funding plan and his large influence gained him the enmity of the Southern legislators. Due to his growing dispopularity, his large family, ill health, as well as the Reynolds affair, Hamilton resigned his position in 1795. Although formally retired from political life, Hamilton still found that his influence over the legislature and elections was profound. In particular, Aaron Burr felt his hand. Aaron Burr was twice cheated out of his political ambitions by Hamilton, first as President of the United States in 1800 when he lost to Thomas Jefferson, and second when he lost for the bid of the New York governorship. Burr would take it personally. In 1804, Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton met at the Field of Honor. They leveled pistols and exchanged shots. Burr's bullet struck Hamilton above the right hip and lodged in his spine. He would expire 24 hours later. It is argued that Hamilton likely threw away his shot, that is, he missed on purpose, he aimed for the sky in order to attain the moral high ground. In doing so, by killing Hamilton, Burr would commit political suicide. Hamilton's beliefs were vindicated. After Burr's brief stint as Vice President of the United States under Jefferson, he was a political outcast for the rest of his life, and nor did he show any remorse at having killed Hamilton. It's plain to see that the life and the motto of Hamilton are ones to live by. I am not throwing away my shot.